My guest today is romance author Melissa McTernan, known to millions now as the #1 Sunday Times and USA Today best-selling author Laurie Gilmore, who, over the last couple of years, has been penning the vastly popular Dream Harbor series. These books have taken Book Talk by storm, winning Melissa the 2024 TikTok Shop Book of the Year. TikTok Shop Book of the Year. That is a mouthful for the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Inspired by her own love of cozy and steamy romance that brings with it the perfect balance of sweetness and spice, Melissa's books are exactly what we need this festive season, and she joins me now from across the pond, New York State. Welcome, Melissa.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So funny, we were just chatting off mic now about your pen name and Laurie Gilmore, and I really do think that Laurie Gilmore lends itself so well to these homely covers and fall seasonal kind of feel of the book. But how is it for you? What's your experience in having this pen name but having written, because I see that you've written several paranormal romances prior to
Yeah,
the Dream Harbor series. So how does it feel going by Laurie now instead of Melissa?
yeah. Well, like you said, I think the name fits the book so well, that now it just makes sense that that's who I am when I write those books. Yeah, I think the name just really helps readers know what they're getting into. I mean, along with those cute, cute covers. So yeah, I think it just fits perfectly, and it does keeps this series separate from my more like paranormal fantasy
Mhm.
stuff. So I think it's helpful to readers, it's helpful to me. It just fits the book so perfectly.
You know,
So
these covers, my eldest son, who's learned to read this year, or over the past couple of years, and now he's really getting quite proficient. He picked up the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and he's like, "Mom, this looks like Gabby's Dollhouse. This looks like such a fun book. What's it about?" And I just gave him the gist of it, but I was like, "But how do I tell him don't open it?"
right, right. Not for children,
But
but they
it's,
are so cute. They're just
they are.
really, yeah, they're so attractive. I got so lucky with those covers. Every time I see a new one, like I'm so excited about them
You
because
know,
they just fit perfect.
I told Jonathan Ball Publishers, who are the distributors here in South Africa for these books, I just said, this time of year, I need a brain break and I just need to be transported to a warm
Mm-hmm.
hug. And that's exactly what's happened. I can't wait to get stuck into the ins and outs of these books with you, but I want to talk more about you first. You are a TikTok phenomenon and winner, as I said, of the Mouthful 2024 TikTok Shop Book of the Year for the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I've just finished the Gilmore Girls um,
hmm
rewatch. I'm not one of those people who rewatch it every year. I think probably it'll be every decade because it was a decade ago that I rewatched it when the 4-part series came out, A Year in the Life of,
Yes.
and I rewatched
hmm
everything. I remember being pregnant with my son and just
Mm.
binging on it, and it's just been such a year for me of falling into that whole space, and it's really obvious to me why readers are flocking to stock up on your books. But the cozy romance read is just exactly that. Like I said, it's a warm hug. But what about it makes you want to write in that genre instead of your
hmm
paranormal romance, steamy romance that you started in?
hmm Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think these are just what we need right now, this time of year, but also just, I don't know, I think people are tired. I think it's rough out there in the world right now, in a lot of ways. And yeah, I think people just want something gentle and soft, to kind of fall into, a comfort read, like rewatching Gilmore Girls, like comfort. So I think that's why they're hitting right now. I mean, I was surprised, honestly, how hard they hit because I didn't know there was that many of us out there, but it's so cool that there is. Yeah, and it's what I like to read. I read like a cross romance. So I read paranormal, I read fantasy, but I also just love like contemporaries. I love rom-coms. I love all that cozy goodness. So I was excited to have a chance to kind of write across the way I read. So
Was it writing what you kind of wanted to read, or listen? That's what I do. My creative work in my podcasting and in my writing is, I've got on my cell phone. I have the words write the book you need to read. Write what you
mm,
wanna read. And my podcast is the same. I was missing something, and I just thought, okay, well, let me create it. Is it the same for you as a writer?
yeah, 100%. Um, so I actually was writing a werewolf series, which the first book is out now, like under my real name. And my editor actually came to me and said, we really want to do a small town cozy series, and we think you'd be like a good fit to write it. So she came to me with it, with the Pumpkin Spice Cafe originally. And I was so excited to get to write it because I was like, oh my gosh, I get to create my own small town. Like, so cool. And I've heard other writers talk about this, but you make like an id list of just like your top favorite things that are just like, just hit for you when you read or when you watch something. So the Pumpkin Spice Cafe is totally just like my id list. Like I was like, I need a grumpy guy. He wears only flannel. Like there's all these quirky house people, just like, I just put like, I had a list of like, fun fall activities. And that all went in the book. So it is 100% just what I like. And I just put it in, and I did not expect so many people to like it too,
Of
but they do.
course. No, well, of course we do, because you're a woman. You're a mom, right? You've
Yes, yes,
you're
I'm a mom.
you're someone who consume you're a consumer as well, and that's, I think, what we
Exactly.
forget as creatives sometimes is, hey, you know what? I'm not going to pander to my audience all that much. I'm going to write or create what I want. So tell me more
Yeah.
about that home life. I'm so curious to know, who is Melissa McTernan if she's not Laurie Gilmore?
Yeah, I'm a mom. That's definitely my other full-time job is momming. I actually started writing when I was home with my two kids when they were real small. And I don't know, anyone out there who has spent a lot of time with very small children, your brain starts to feel a little mushy, a little bit like, oh my goodness, I'm talking to toddlers all day. So that's kind of when I started, just as like a hobby. But now my kids go to school, so I get to write while they're gone, which is nice. So they get on the bus and I write. Yeah, my husband also works from home, so it's the two of us kicking around the house with the cats and the dog. And
That's the one good thing that the pandemic brought to us is work from home
Mhm.
life, and just normalizing it, because what a treat, what a privilege as well, to be able to just sit in a home office instead of and how much creativity flows when you're actually free to be in your own home like that, right? Instead of the
Yeah,
stuffy office. Sorry for all the
exactly.
office workers out there.
No, sorry, office people, but yeah, it's nice to be
Because
home.
even the characters in your book, I'm like, oh, I just want to work in a bookstore. Why can't I do that? Pumpkin Spice Cafe made me want to own my own cafe. I know nothing. I know a lot about drinking coffee. I don't know a lot about making it, but I just thought, maybe I should pack up and move my small family to a small town and just
Yes.
live this dream.
Just open a cafe.
Mm.
Yeah, totally. I
Mm.
know. I know. The bookstore, I want that. Me and my sister used to joke about opening a Christmas tree farm someday. So I was like, I'm just going to write that. I'm just living out all my little, business ideas.
So for me, Christmas Tree Farm screams Taylor Swift, because famously she grew up when she was really little on a Christmas tree farm. And if you're a mom of a certain age, it won't take us there. But Melissa, I'm with you in that boat of just being fabulous, and
That's
in
right.
the 30 late 20s, 30s,
That's right.
40s, right?
Like,
Right. Okay. So
yep. hmm
I'm not
Vaguely in that zone.
yeah, I'm not ageist at all. I'm enjoying this life, but I'm an older millennial, and I'm not ashamed about it, and I'm a very proud Swiftie. And so Christmas Tree Farm, I was like, my book club and I, wavered from what was prescribed to us, and we just said we need a Christmas, brain break, and the Christmas Tree
Yeah.
Farm is it for us. This is what we're heading
Yay.
into, and it just makes us feel good about our love for our mutual love for Taylor Swift as well. Was there inspiration around that, because you have playlists as well in
I
front of
do. Well,
every
I was
book?
gonna say, yes. I mean, I'm basically listening to Taylor Swift all the time when
Really?
I'm yes, she's always on. She just has a song for everything,
She
every mood,
does.
every vibe, every season. So
She
it just
does.
works
She
out.
really.
It works out.
And these playlists, I'm loving. Okay, then the playlists aren't only Taylor Swift, and they really
Yeah.
suit each book. There's a playlist for our listeners. If you're not viewing on YouTube, there's a playlist with Harry Styles, Selena Gomez, Lizzie McAlpine. This is just in the first one. I
Mhm.
really adored this Lewis Capaldi song. That I wasn't aware of before listening to the playlist. This is on loop. This and the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore as well. I'm adoring these playlists. I really love it. It's gonna be my 2024 happy memories. So what besides Taylor Swift and your broad knowledge of Taylor Swift, I can see it in you. Um, how did you choose these songs? Because they're so
Well,
apt.
thank you. I wish I could take credit for the full list and even honestly the idea to put the list in there. That was not me. That was, I know. They know what they're doing over there at One More Chapter. Um, but I give songs to go on the list. So they'll ask me for each book, what we're listening to, what, songs were inspiring the book. So I'll usually have like my few that I put in because I listen to things on repeat. So I'll have like a
Yes.
few and then I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then they flesh it out for me. So they've done an amazing job picking songs that just go so well with the vibe of the book. So
Phoebe
it's a team
Bridges.
effort.
Phoebe Bridges, man, and Gracie Abrams, Lana Del Rey,
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter, of course, Noah Khan.
Obsessed. Yeah, I'm
These
obsessed with Sabrina Carpenter right now. I don't
these playlists are so good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think you've just
know.
hit a mark. I mean, just you know,
Something.
you
I know. Something happened in the atmosphere. I don't know. Something with these books. Yeah. Yeah. And it really is like a team effort. Like they come up with these amazing playlists and then the cover artist is amazing. Her name is Kelly. Like, yeah,
one
it's
more
such a good,
chapter. You've done so well. If you can just pass on the message to
they're the
to your
best.
team,
I
and
will.
you, of course, the writer. I mean, romance is huge at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm a literary fiction reader for the most part. I
Mm-hmm.
read quite broadly, I have to say that, but I think I've been a literary fiction reader. But I know
Mm-hmm.
when I go on holiday or when I've been working my butt off,
Mm-hmm.
romance is gonna really just give me
Way to
the
go.
break that I need. And Ellie Hazelwood, I read, was introduced to me last year. I was,
Mhm.
last one on that bus. But there are very obvious similarities with other romance authors, but I really do think that your books have a uniqueness about them. Just because of
Mm-hmm.
the Virgin River-esque
Mm-hmm.
homeliness and wholesomeness, right? So do you read any of these authors? Do you see yourself as being in competition with them or inspired by them?
Mm-hmm. Um, I love Allie Hazelwood. Oh my gosh, so much. Even to be just be like in the same conversation where you're talking about Allie Hazelwood and me, like I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So I adore her. Um, I don't feel like I'm in competition. I think the amazing thing about romance is that romance readers just like consume so much romance that they always want more. So it doesn't feel
Right.
like a competition. Like it feels like there really is space for all of these books because people just want more, more, more. They read so much and so fast, and they're awesome. They're like the best readers, I think. Um, so yeah, but I'm definitely inspired by a lot. I mean, I consider myself like a reader first and then a writer. So I love books with good characters. Like it's all about the characters for me. If the characters are good, I'll watch them do pretty much anything. You can
Mm.
write anything about people that I like and I'll read them. So I love Kat Sebastian writes amazing queer historicals, and I adore like everything she's written. I've said this multiple times now. I don't know if she's heard or seen any of these interviews, but like Kat Sebastian, I love you wherever you are.
We're gonna shout
Um,
out to Kat Sebastian. We're gonna
yeah,
tag her in
Kat, where are you?
everything.
I'm talking about you everywhere. Let's be friends. So I love all of her books. I love Talia Hibbert writes amazing characters. Kate Claiborne, I love. Um, BK Borson wrote the Love Light Farm series, which is like another amazing small town, super cozy, starts on a Christmas tree farm.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
What
don't
I
know. I
love
love.
as well is, I mean, I'm studying creative writing, and what they always tell us, and it's always a reminder, is there's nothing is original. You know, and you kind of
Yeah.
think, especially when you get into kind of the highbrow literary fiction genres,
Mm-hmm.
there's a feel of, maybe not always, because books people are lovely people, I must admit.
Hmm.
Books people are generally really lovely and nice and welcoming, and if there's kind of a nod to one book in something else, then it's not taken up badly. But I think for highbrow readers, it would be like, oh, this book did that, you know, this has been done, da da
Hmm.
da. But what you mention about romance readers is, we're looking for tropes, we're looking for
Yes.
grumpy sunshine, you know, we're
Yes.
looking for the happily ever after.
Yeah, 100%. I was gonna say, yeah, I think that is the difference with romance is people are like, no, I want these things that I know I love. They're my favorite. And you try to put your own spin on it. You try to make it feel a little different than the last time. But there are things that romance readers just want. Like, don't
Mm,
change it. They
mm.
want that. They want that grumpy guy. They want, whatever it is. And it's fun. It's fun to take those things that people love and that you love and put them in your book. And yeah, and I think one of the differences with romance is that it feels like like more of a conversation between the reader and the author because it is such a fast turnaround. I think romance books come out fast, readers read them fast, and then, they're on social media talking about it, and it really feels like, okay, people are liking this. Let's put that in the next book.
As an author, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about, like, you pour so much time into something that people are like, I read this in 3 hours. I did in one
Yeah.
sitting. I did not sit down. How do you feel about that? You're like, could you have just maybe taken your time as
Maybe
much?
savor it like a
Yeah.
little bit more.
I was dying, but there was a heat wave while I was reading the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I was like, I really want to go get it like a cinnamon or a pumpkin spice drink while
Yeah.
reading this book. I never got there. So I'm looking for like a peppermint latte or a hazelnut latte or something Christmassy to
There you go.
end off the year with the Christmas tree farm. I'll definitely do that, and I'll take my eldest son with a
There you
Christmas
go.
equivalent of his own. But definitely,
Yes.
yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. I really loved that actually. A lot of people, posting the book and their drink and their treat, they had their like pumpkin muffin or whatever. And I was like, people are really turning this into like a full immersive experience. They're
Yes.
reading, they're sipping, they're listening to the playlist, like so cool.
This is the
So,
thing. This is 100% how I've consumed it and how I will
yeah.
recommend anybody consumes it. And yeah, go
Yeah.
just rewatch Gilmore Girls as well, because I want to talk about these
Hmm.
characters. Let's get stuck into these romance
Okay.
tropes, and I do think that you went somewhere where, like, Gilmore Girls wasn't as like in it with the romance as,
Hmm.
it was more about a mother-daughter relationship. And you do firstly diversity effortlessly, and you do sibling relationships really well. I've loved those, elements woven into your novels, but obviously this has to do with the couples, and it has to do
Hmm.
with, trials and tribulations that the main characters are facing. Um,
Hmm.
but the couples, you're really rooting for them from the beginning. So Jeannie and Logan, for me, because I've just watched Gilmore Girls, very give off a very Luke and Lorelai vibe. But Luke and Lorelai, if they had met like when they were in their 20s, like Jeannie and
Yeah.
Logan did. And
Yes.
then Hazel and Noah is like Rory, the bookish type, and Logan, the rich troubled boy.
Yeah. Honestly, like when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I wasn't even thinking it, and it must have just like seeped into my brain.
These
But yeah.
And it's not. It's again that thing that lives in like these characters that just work so well together, and types of
Yeah.
people that, where it doesn't, where opposites attract. It's the opposites attract is the trope as well.
Exactly.
But that said, each character does really become their own person over the course of the book. That it's just like, okay, I can definitely see Noah,
Hmm.
for who he
Yeah.
is. I don't picture Logan, Matt
Yeah.
Zuckery. I don't picture Rory. Rory is very different actually from Hazel. Maybe they'd be friends in an alternate
Yeah.
universe. I'll write some
Yeah.
fanfic around it.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. We're in Hazel, me, and like swap books.
I'm loving this. I see a collab in our future.
I
So,
like it. I like it.
look, it is also really clever and adorable how, I mean, each book is standalone, but it's nice to read them in order because each of the characters, each book's main characters appear as subsidiary characters in the other books. So they're all kind of woven in, and then once you've really read all the books, then they give this small town vibe, and you really are just a member of the town. So there are gonna be 6 books in the series. Are there gonna be more? Will the town flesh out wider and wider, or like, will we get to know more of the characters?
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah,
should I write an email to
write in everybody.
Hey, one more chapter. We really want to
We want
see
more.
Mac and Annie,
Mac and
right?
Annie are coming. They are coming. They are coming. That I can tell you. They are coming. They're book 5.
Oh, yes. Okay. Sneak
Yes,
peek,
next
y'all.
year. Sneak peek. Annie is coming. Do not fear. Yes. Yes. I'm actually writing that book right now
Oh,
as we
nice. So you're in it.
I'm in it.
I
I'm
love
in
it.
it with Annie and Mac.
So
Yeah.
Christmas Tree Farm is Kira and Bennett is I want to say Laurie, Jeannie. Bennett is Jeannie's brother coming
Yes.
in, and we already love him. We already do. He appears in the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, more prominent in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and then even more prominent in the Christmas Tree Farm. And then there's a fourth coming out in February, the
Yes.
Strawberry Pancake.
Yes.
I've lost
Strawberry Patch Pancake House.
the
It's a big
Strawberry
one.
Patch Pancake House. Here, I've got it
A
in front of me.
mouthful, that one.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, tell
yes,
us
so
more about that. Who's going to be in that? Because I know that readers were like, that's when readers were going, "Where's Mac and Annie? Why weren't they in
yes.
this one?"
That is when readers freaked out a little bit. They saw the blurb for book 4 and were like, hold on, like this is not Annie. It's not Annie. I'm sorry, everyone. Um, book 4 is Iris, who you meet in the Christmas tree farm. She works at the Christmas tree farm. Um, and she's kind of like jack of all trades. She does a lot of things in the town. She does things at the flower shop. She works at the Christmas tree farm. She teaches senior water aerobics.
she's
She's
like
everywhere.
she's like Miss Rabbit in Peppa Pig.
Oh my God. Thank you for that reference because I love Miss Rabbit
She's
from Peppa Pig.
legendary. You see,
Perfect.
the millennial mom markets, we have
That's right.
power. We have such
That's
power. Yes, Rebecca Rabbit is a legend. She
she
deserves an
is. She
award.
a real hero. So there you go. So Iris is the Miss Rabbit of Dream Harbor. She's everywhere. And then she is paired with Archer, who we don't meet because he's gonna come new to town. He's brand new in Strawberry Patch. He has to come to Dream Harbor because he finds out he is a dad and he did not know that he has a 5-year-old daughter.
Scandalous.
scandalous.
Guys. Okay.
Right. A little Dream Harbor scandal, little drama.
Dream Harbor
Um,
doesn't like that, I bet.
Dream Harbor is like, what is going on? But he needs help. So Iris ends up nannying, being the nanny.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a single dad, it's like nanny, it's a little bit forbidden, you can't really be fooling around with the nanny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Giving Jude Law
Um,
vibes here,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. He's not married. It's okay.
We end up
Yeah,
liking Archer. This is what we know
we like
already. We
we're
like
gonna like him.
Archer.
It's
Yeah.
I promise. And he's a chef. So
A man after my own heart. Oh my
I
goodness. We got
know.
the farmer, we got the fisherman, we
Hmm.
got Bennett who has loves dogs. With
Yes,
Bennett and the dogs, I was like sold, sold,
I
sold.
know.
He's a dog
I
lover, what?
I mean, come on. He's got his own little pack. I was like, yes, this is happening. Yeah. So
Oh,
yes,
that's
that's book
exciting.
four. So I hope that'll tide everyone over until Annie, because we just knew we wanted Annie to be another Christmas. She's going to be a Christmas.
Yes.
So we just had
Yes.
to move Annie a little bit further.
Okay, I got you. You guys are forgiven.
There were reasons.
You're forgiven. I want to bring in this note. What something you said made me think of like the steaminess, but the wholesomeness. And
Mhm.
I thought I don't have daughters. I've got two sons. I don't know. Do you have
Mhm.
daughters or sons? I didn't
I have
ask
one
you.
of each. One of
Oh, a
each.
pigeon pair. So I think all
Yeah.
the time about about chatting with my sons about sex and stuff like that. But they're never gonna. Maybe they would actually because they're so taken with the covers, with the nice covers.
Yeah.
Maybe they would get. Maybe
They
one day I
might.
catch my sons reading my Dream Harvest
Be like,
series.
there we go. Job done.
It
Don't
won't be
even have to
it won't be
chat.
the worst thing because of how they ask for consent and because of how gentlemanly these guys are. But I actually said to a friend, I'd be really hesitant to have my 13-year-old read the book because I was thinking of like, when until you get to the steamy parts, it's like 100% would give this to my niece who
Mhm.
just turned 14.
Yeah.
Then it gets to the sex, and I'm like, never mind, never mind.
Maybe not. Yeah.
But then again, it's life, and I've got a different view on that. But I think more the one thing that will give me hesitation around giving it to a girl who's
Mhm.
younger, if we're looking at age restriction, it's just like these men are too perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're just setting up unrealistic expectations here, Melissa. Like, you know,
Yes, it is. I mean, they're definitely a fantasy. So I do think it's important to be an adult and know that it's a
yes,
fantasy and that these people don't exist in real life in their entirety. But like you said, there are parts that I think you should want in a
for
relationship.
sure.
They are very sweet and respectful and ask for consent and make sure everyone's having a good time and all of that. I think you should want and you
You
deserve
should
in a
strive
relationship.
for. And
Yeah.
if you're past that age and you've read these books and you get into a sexual encounter with a man, then you should be demanding that kind of treatment.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
So
I
maybe,
mean, they're not
yes, maybe I
perfect.
should say, if any moms are listening and they're like wondering, is it okay for my teen daughter to read? I'd be like,
Mhm.
maybe, firstly, read it first as a rule of thumb, but read it and let your daughter know, like, this is what we're striving for here, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, in certain ways, nobody's going to be perfect,
Yeah.
obviously, but yeah, you should have a guy that loves you that much and wants you to feel good.
Well, what I love is all of these characters also have their own, like, stuff going on. And
Yeah.
their own kind of life trials and tribulations, and each couple brings it out of the other, and they don't let them get away with, oh, you're saying these things, and I don't want this mess. I'm gonna opt out. You know how people are, and your characters really kind of whether it's the man or the woman in their it doesn't matter. It's not genderized in this way. It's just like the couples kind of hold each other to account, and then that's a really also healthy way of showing how love can be and how relationships can play out.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think fundamentally all we really want is someone that like accepts us with all of our crap that we come with, you know? So to me, that, yeah, like that's the part when they fall in love, when they're like, yeah, I want you regardless of, whatever you're working
All of
through.
this
So,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I'll take you with all your stuff.
Oh, I
That's all
love
we really
that.
want.
I I want to talk about these seasonal books. We have touched on it. So autumn, fall, and Christmas really lend themselves to Hallmark classics, which is what the Dream Harbor series has been described as.
Hmm.
Where the cozy romance falls into it, and it's where we're in the thick of summer in South Africa, but people all
Oh,
over here. We have iced cinnamon drinks right now. Like if you're going to go
yeah.
get a themed drink, it's all iced. But iced gingerbread lattes, iced peppermint
Yeah.
lattes. It's so
That's
funny
so
actually. But and people, I mean, I was just sitting at a lunch the other day, and someone said, "Oh, we watched the cheesiest, best Christmas movie," and I can't remember what it was. It was Christmas in Time or
funny.
In Time for Christmas or something like that. And people are really getting in the vibe because of what we mentioned, and they look forward. I know readers who look forward to their Christmas reads. They line them up come November and 1st of
Mhm.
December. They hit the ground running. Jenny
Yes.
Coogan, I think, is one of them. She just, knocks
Yes.
out I don't know if I'm getting her name right, but she knocks out a lot of the Christmas books. And I just know people who love to rack them up and to draw on this nostalgia.
Mhm.
That's what your books do. So Pumpkin Spice Cafe is very much a fall autumn book, autumnal book. Cinnamon Bun Bookshop is end of summer, but it's also East Coast, right?
Mhm.
Where you are. So I mean, we're really familiar this side with I think US because of the books we read and the movies we watch. Because of media, we're really familiar with. This is like Autumn in New York is just this
It's a thing.
classic
Yeah.
movie that
Yeah.
so I suppose we love to kind of just take our minds there as a way of escapism. Obviously the Christmas tree farm, we're looking at winter.
Yes.
Is the strawberry shortcake pancake house, is that right? The strawberry
Straw-
shortcake pancake house.
Strawberry Patch Pancake
Ah,
House.
patch, I left out patch. The strawberry patch pancake house, not strawberry shortcake.
I
I need
know,
to
but
get this right,
it's
Melissa.
hard. It's
Sorry.
a big one. Honestly, I get it wrong. The other day I was saying like the Strawberry Pumpkin House. I don't know. I was like combining. It was not good. So
The
it's a tough
strawberry
one.
patch pancake house. Is what season are we in with that?
Spring, spring. That
Spring.
one's
I love it.
spring.
And then,
Yeah.
of course, as you said, oh, because strawberries, right? Strawberries come out in the spring and
Yeah, so
summertime.
it's strawberries, that there's bunnies, it rains a lot in the beginning as it's New England. I was like, I have to be a little realistic. It's like a lot of rain. But then there's flowers. So we come out of the rain.
And
Um,
kids. Yeah, there aren't
and
kids in the
kids,
other books, but there's a kid in this book. Well, there are kids.
kid.
There are actually kids in the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Very
Oh, right.
cute. You write them
Noah's,
really
yeah,
well. Yeah, the nieces.
Noah's nieces.
Noah's
They
nieces.
actually come back. They'll be in Strawberry Patch.
Oh,
They're the
nice.
nieces return. Yeah, so it was a little bit of a challenge having a kid as one of the main characters in Strawberry Patch and kind of balancing that because Archer kind of has to fall in love with being a dad while also
Mm.
falling in love with Iris. So there was like a lot going on in that
And there's a
one.
lot of jostling because you're going to have the steamy scenes, and then you're going to
Exactly.
have
You got a kid in the
you got a
way. It was like
kid.
a
You
whole thing. So don't worry, there's babysitters and there's like a grandma that she goes to visit. So I was like, okay, we have to, get rid of this
somehow,
kid.
yeah, we got to get the kid out of the way at some point. Even though we're all
Yeah,
here for the kid,
right.
she's got to
But
go.
then she has to go.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was like, we gotta handle that. So don't worry, she does go off places. She's very happy. She visits people. She has a babysitter. She's a deep sleeper. It's fine. Like,
And she, and she lives in Dream Harbor. What more
And
do
she
you
lives in Big
want?
Harbor. So totally fine.
Oh, I love that. And then, of
Yeah,
course, you number 5 is
the gingerbread bakery. Dun,
oh
dun, dun. And
yes,
it's
and we're
Annie.
back to
Yeah.
Christmas again. So now we're like 2025 Christmas read locked and loaded, right?
Yep. You're ready to go. I think it comes out in September
I love
or
it.
something.
So Christmas
Yeah.
Tree Farm, we've got a grumpy main gal, which
Yeah.
Jeannie was sunshine.
Yes.
Hazel was, I mean, that what's the Hazel Noah trope is what would you call it?
I mean, I don't know if it's a thing. I mean, it's opposites attract, and then I was just thinking like bookish girl, adventurous guy. But they're kind of both sunshiny.
So like
I think
you know what it is? Hazel
sunshine's
and Noah are like a she's all that vibe.
yes.
Like she's sexy, right? She's a bit of an underdog, and
She doesn't know. She
she
doesn't
doesn't
know
know.
she's sexy at
Yeah, just
first,
like
but she
Lainey Boggs in
she's all
She's
that.
All That. There we
Yeah.
go.
There you
And the
except
market
people
will understand that. I have no doubt in my mind. They'll know exactly what
don't
we're
get
talking
it.
about.
All of us elder millennials will get that.
Hmm.
And Hazel doesn't even have to she doesn't even have to lose her glasses for Noah to realize she's hot, even with the glasses on.
I love it. As someone who
So,
wears glasses, I'm wearing lenses myself, but I'm a glasses girl, and I appreciated that. So I was like, when he
yeah.
takes in one scene, I mean, spoiler alert, they get close enough, and he takes her glasses off, and I'm like, that is so sweet. That is so cute, and very sexy at the same time.
Yes, they did. They were getting in the way a little bit. So he does have to take them off.
Noah, I love Noah, and my son's name is Noah,
Oh,
so
it's a good.
he's a very endearing character to me, and I have to read your words out loud to you if you don't mind, because when I saw this,
Okay.
I was I was very careful in the words that I chose, but it was just so well done. It
Yeah.
is which chapter? Chapter 19 in the Cinnamon Bun bookstore, and of course the lead guy needs to have large hands. This is a
Always.
thing. This is a
Always.
thing. The large
One of
hands
the
are,
things.
yeah. So Noah's
Yeah.
large hands spread around to her back, smoothing over the bearskin, holding her close as he kissed her. His face was covered in a rough stubble today, and it scraped Hazel's cheeks and lips and neck, the slight burn distracting her from her thoughts. He smelled like a sunny day, fresh air and freedom. He was summer and she was fall. This is my favorite. He was summer and she was fall. He was adventure and she was comfort. But right now, on the cusp between the two seasons, in this liminal space they'd carved out for themselves, they fit just right.
Yay. That's them in a nutshell. There you go. That's the whole vibe for
It's
Hazel and Noah.
so wonderful. And I mean, each couple has their own. Maybe I'm like playing favorites right now, but I think depending on the day, I'll probably be like, choose another couple. But for now, I mean, Noah and Hazel, just the opposites attract. And I think the fact that he is such a, tough guy, or like I suppose, a cocky guy on the exterior, but he is actually so sweet and vulnerable. And he's an uncle and a brother,
Yeah.
and so sweet. He's so sweet, but sexy at the same time. Do you have a favorite couple?
I mean, like you said, I think it changes for me too, like depending on the day and my mood. And like I'm feeling all Christmassy right now, so I
Mm-hmm.
might have to say Kira and Bennett. But I do love, I mean, Hazel and Noah do have like a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about those two.
Maybe it's also because we're bookish gals.
I, right, it's got to be. Like I wrote Hazel for all of us, for
Mm.
us bookish girls. Like that's where Hazel came from, of course. So yeah.
And I've, in honor of Hazel, I've dog-eared the my favorite parts of the book. I was like, some good came of it, so why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, that's an inside joke. Maybe we should explain it. There's mystery to each of the books. Or is
Yeah.
there mystery in the Christmas Tree Farm as well, and in the Strawberry Patch
Yes.
Pancake House? Did I get it right?
Yeah. You got
Yeah.
it. Nailed it.
Is there
Yes.
mystery? Because there's mystery in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Somebody is messing with Jeannie's new Pumpkin Spice Cafe that she's inherited.
Yes,
and we
she
don't
is.
know what it is, who it is, what's happening.
Yes, right, exactly. Yes, there is a small mystery in each book, mostly to force the characters to be together.
Mm,
That's kind of the purpose
mm,
of the mystery, is that they end up having to be together more. So there is a little bit of a mystery in Christmas Tree Farm as well.
nice.
And yeah,
I look
and one in
forward to it.
Strawberry.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the like, oh, what do I think? And it this is what makes me think of Virgin River is then when it's revealed, it's like, oh, okay, that's cute, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
It's not
in
like a hardcore mystery, for
yeah,
real,
nobody
real
dies,
mystery
guys.
readers.
Nobody
It's yeah, it's a
dies.
exactly. There's no dead bodies turning up. Don't worry.
No
It's a low.
generational trauma, you know.
No, nope. I try to just we're just having nice times in Dream
Mhm.
Harbor.
Mhm. I love it.
Um, yeah. So yeah, it's like a low-key mystery, and it's just something to move the plot forward and keep the characters having to be together for whatever reason. They now have to, figure something out together.
And
So
in Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and that's why I spoke about the dog-eared covers. Is
yeah,
Hazel's a she's a stickler for the rules.
she is.
She's your A type, A plus student, and she does not write in the margins of books,
Yep.
and she uses
Nope.
bookmarks like
She sure does.
someone who isn't a savage. She's
That's
she's
right.
very proper about her book etiquette,
Right.
and the mystery in that is that she finds books that are out of place in the romance section, and they
Yep.
are marked up.
Marked up,
Hmm.
highlighted, dog-eared. Ugh,
And she
like a real problem for Hazel.
I love it. I love these problems. I love that these are like their real world like shenanigans. It's just
Yeah.
such a delight to live in Dream Harbor, and I love come on, we've got the town halls, the
Oh,
meetings. Same
those
as
are fun.
if you're a fan, there's the bar in Virgin River. That's the
Mhm.
main guy's place that they all hang and they all eat at as well.
All
Um,
the time. They're always there.
and the same thing happens at Dream Harbor. Everybody gets their coffee fix at the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Everybody reads their books. The steamy book club, steamy romance book club. They get their coffee from the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. They go into the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore and they read their books there and they chat books, and it's very meta actually as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, there's usually like a book inside of the book that the book club's reading, and it'll sort of relate to the book that they're inside of.
So
So like,
does the Wolf series that you were working on, is that what Noah's reading?
yes.
You see Easter egg, and that's Taylor Swift, and we've come full circle, guys.
There it is, everybody.
I love it. You see, and it's just like, oh, it's just so nice because there's no true crime here, guys. There's no dead bodies. Your heart
No.
rate's not gonna go. You're not gonna feel sad. You're really just gonna feel warm and fuzzy and cozy, and just your brain is just gonna love these words and these stories and these characters and these plots. Um, Melissa, you've just
Yeah.
really done such a great job with this. What's
Thank
next? What's next for Laurie Gilmore, and what's next for Melissa? And we have spoken at length of what's next for Dream Harbor, and one more chapter. We want one more chapter, and then another, and then another, and then another. Why cap it
Just
at 6, guys?
keep going. Infinity Dream Harbor.
So what's next for you, Melissa? Let's start there.
Yeah, so well, like I said, I'm writing book 5 right now, writing Annie and Mac. Um, so yeah, keep going with that. And there will be a book 6 for Dream Harbor. And then so the wolf book I have out is called A Curse of Blood and Wolves. That's under Melissa McTernan. And that one is also going to be a series. It's going to be 3 books. So that one has a second one coming out, I think in the spring, I want to say. Um, yeah. So
That's busy.
that one,
You're keeping yourself super busy. How do you break down your writing hours?
I don't know.
Tell me how
Um,
you do it.
oh God. No, it's been good because the Wolf series is on a much slower like release schedule. So that one, book two's already been written for a while. It's like off in edits or doing whatever it's doing right now. So while that's doing that, I write Dream Harbor. So I haven't had a day where I'm writing like Werewolves in the morning and Annie and Mac in the afternoon, at least not yet. So it's been nice. They've been staggered.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
fine. And yeah, I have like my word count that I have to hit every day. My husband makes me a spreadsheet, so I know
That's
how
so
many words I have
lovely.
to write. Yeah, he tries to help me not have a stress spiral, when I'm like panicking. I have to write
Mm-hmm.
this. So once it's in little manageable chunks like that, it feels fine. So I just write my word count for the day and a book comes out a few months after that. So
Oh, how
yeah.
lovely. I love this process. I love your vibe. I feel like I feel like we're connecting across the ether. You're a woman after my own heart,
Yeah.
Melissa, and
This is so fun to chat with you.
such fun. It's nice to find an older millennial with all of the same, you know,
References.
ticks and references, and this is why. But this is why your books are hitting the big time, and I just wish more and more for you. And congratulations on this success. And
Thank
I think it's an inspiration as well as a mother, mom to mom, and mothers who work and have what starts out as side hustles and kind of escalate into larger things. It's just it's so inspiring for women, and we discussed young girls, and I really just think, this is all positive. It's all positive vibes here, and it's a great
thank
way to close off the year and to ring in the festive season. So it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was such a nice chat. And yeah, book people are the best people.
They are.
So
They are. I'm gonna leave it there. I can't deny that. Hopefully next year we're gonna be chatting about Mac and Annie.
yes.
We're gonna get into it.